it pulled up on my YouTube.
That's awesome.
Is there a link that comes up if you go to the channel?
It should. All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. Jaybone here for Total Nonstop Impact. Yes, I bring a little shtick over here from Smash This Podcast, so it is what it is. We are going way back tonight, folks. Way back for this IPWF, the Impact Provincial Wrestling Federation. That is a mouthful, folks. And
I'm glad you got that.
Joining me, I got the whole thing set up here, so we'll get through this. We've got the wrestling nurse with us tonight.
Hi, everybody.
Back in the hot seat. How have you been? How is your holiday?
Great. I even did Thursday on Thanksgiving shopping.
You got some out of the way already.
I did. Brand new TV. I fought everybody at Walmart.
Did you claw your way through? And wow, that's amazing. They're selling the what is it, the 50-inch for like less than $200 or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God, crazy. Let's jump in the chat real quick before we tear this up. Mir Neeson, of course, was in here like 3 hours ago. Happy Thanksgiving and happy Thanksgiving to everybody joining here. Yes, absolutely. Race truck. I want to go fast. That was an absolute riot. Looking forward to this review. Such a fun and very entertaining Impact show this week. Yes, it was.
I want to know who was a fan of wrestling that can remember like the old characters. Because I wasn't. Everybody might not know. I'm just a fan of 3 years ago, so I didn't know.
Yeah. My fandom goes way back, like Hulkster days, like rock and wrestling days. So while some people didn't get this or thought it was just a cheap NWA, because NWA is doing studio wrestling right now. They just started up again, and they're doing something very similar. And they're like, oh, it's just an NWA ripoff. It's like, no, it's not, because the NWA is doing some kick-ass stuff. This was cheesy and just entertaining.
I did not think I would have fun, because when I've seen extra silly, goofy characters these days, I'm like, But oh my gosh, I have to say, I had so much fun. I loved seeing everybody talk more. Like, I've seen some people talk that I've never seen talk before on the mic, and it's just everybody gave a lot. So
it was refreshing. Yeah, it was like, we never hear Jordan Grace talk. Like, well, I shouldn't say never, but who was the other oh God, now all the names are like getting Havoc just snarls and screams. She never talks, and she cut a whole sexy promo like old school. It was hilarious. So we are cosplaying tonight for Tim Burr. It's about the quickest thing I could dig out of my closet. I do not have an axe, although I think someone dug into him recently too. So we're gonna jump into this. Hold on, folks. We're going to get through this. This was goofy as hell. It starts off here with the introduction of our commentators, Josh Matthews as Giuseppe Scavelli. Oh, my God. Don Callis was Sexton Hardcastle. Your thoughts on the commentators here?
Okay, the Sexton guy, I think he could have done a little bit better with his outfit, but yeah, I think they did fine. It was good. They said some weird stuff, but they were okay. I liked it. Who was that guy that was doing the promos, the interviews? He was awesome.
Iceman. He's from that actual independent, the whatever,
Okay.
whatever. Oh dear God, I need a few more of these. Scott D'Amore runs wrestling, and it's part of his little.
Okay. He was
shtick.
awesome. Yeah.
He's actually on was that Behind the Lights?
Vince Timber.
Their Twitch show. He's on there. He does some interviews and updates and news bits. Yeah, he's very entertaining. He's quite the character. I don't know what else to say about him, but yeah, he was great. Right. So our first match here, diving into this nostalgic show, we have Rip Razor, aka Ace Austin, versus oh my God.
We'll get through this. We'll get through it.
Versus Rapid Delivery Pete. Rich Swann, and running around with all these pizza boxes. And oh my God, this was,
I have to say,
so much fun.
Ace Austin, well, okay, whatever his character was, I liked his look better. I thought he was I don't know, I liked it.
You liked which one better?
Ace Austin's character, whatever. Repeat that one again for us.
Oh, Rip Razor.
Yes.
Yeah, Rip Razor was great.
It was good. I liked it.
Completely, like, I love how everyone was like completely different from who they normally were.
Mm-hmm.
That was very refreshing. I'm trying to find here we go. This is what I had off to my right here as a little cheat sheet.
So Critical Sting says Iceman runs Destiny Wrestling. That's awesome. Put a shout out for that.
Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, and we'll do a little.
And feel free, listeners, put up all your info, because when people go back and they read the comments, they can learn a lot. I'm going to go back and once we're done and read all of it, learn some more. Oh, look at you.
There we go. That is Rip Razor.
Oh, nice. I thought he would look way better there. He didn't look so skeezy. I don't know, scummy.
Sleazy. Yeah. I love that he had a lit cigarette in the ring. That is something that you don't see anymore, like ever, because you can't smoke in buildings. This was truly old school. And of course, Giuseppe had the cigar, wasn't lit, but yeah. So yeah, all right. So next,
but nothing big for me in that match. I mean, here was the first part where the announcers were saying flip flops, and I'm like, okay, dude, those are not flip flops, they're slides. But I thought it was pretty impressive that he tried wrestling in sliders.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, the wrestling was what it was. I mean, and there was some actually, legit decent wrestling in some of these matches, but a lot of it was just slowed down.
Yeah.
Exaggerated,
Yeah, exactly.
So, and
then
rapid delivery Pete comes off with the win here with the special delivery splash.
Special delivery splash.
Quite the innovative offense here.
I love the chant. We want pizza. We want pizza. It was awesome. It was fun.
Oh, that is great. That was great, eh? All right, next we get a promo here brought to us by the Iceman himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they gave him a name.
Who? The real name? Julian Cumberbund. Oh, here.
Oh, there it is. Missed it. There we go. Between these
two. He looked so good in that suit, I have to tell you.
Julian Cumberbund or Sonny Sanders?
Julian. I mean, they both looked good, but that's I'm just giving it was good. It was nice to see. And then it got ripped off. I thought that was, I don't know. I've never been one for the cheesy promos, but that promo was done so well by everybody.
I love the fact that Callahan looked like, well, I mean, with his modern look and his hair the way it is, and he
Mhm.
put on the glasses and he had the tennis racket. It was Jim Cornette from any decade. Honestly, it was great, and which is just even more funny because he loathes Jim Cornette, and
Ooh.
he pulled him off so well. I mean, just the combo of
See that's info.
my cheat sheet here.
Yeah, that's info
Julian
that I don't.
Cumberbund.
And then downtown Daddy Brown comes
Downtown
and
Daddy
rips off
Brown.
the suit. Ah, gosh, it was so fun. It was so good.
That was go ahead.
What that showed to me, the promos with that strong start, was how much that promos can get you excited for the match to come. That's never been a thing for me, and I got so excited to see that match coming up. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a nice little reminder of how, remembering old classic stuff like Piper's Pit is a classic example of that. Roddy Piper getting both the heel and the baby face out there face to face. Oh, what's going to happen? Who's going to clobber who, and just all that. Yeah, so this was a perfect example, a great little throwback of that. I love the fact that downtown Daddy Brown, Willie Mack, looked like it was kind of like a cross between like what Dusty Rhodes used to wear and or a little salute to Junkyard Dog.
Okay.
Little combo of both. I loved them way back in the day. So yeah, great promo. Sonny Callahan, aka Sonny Sanders, and Julian. Oh no, excuse me, no, just Julian gets his suit ripped off, and just the over exaggeration was so damn funny. It was so funny. It was a great way to get excited for the main event.
Yeah, it was.
We then have another promo.
The dance, oh my gosh! Just the flow of just awesomeness after awesomeness. That the dance and it was awesome. Jake something, and I don't know who that other guy was.
It's the Deaners as the hard workers.
Yeah. Okay.
Oates and Hull, aka Hull and Oates. Another lovely 80s band. But yeah, these guys were just
it was a perfect example, because whenever I see Jake, he is just tough looking, and then to see, like you said in the beginning of the podcast, everybody just was different, and to see him be like goofy and funny, I loved seeing both sides of everybody, that that just showed me their talent. It was awesome.
Yeah, they just let loose. It was over the top. Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to remember the tag team that they reminded me of. Jake Diener reminded me of. Oh God, was it the Midnight Express? No, it wasn't the Midnight Express. Some classic tag team that was run by Cornette way back in the day.
Now, did they have to base it on, not directly, but did they have to like kind of try to, base it on somebody, loosely base it, or just they could come up with anybody wild? I wasn't sure.
I think it's just anybody. I mean, some of them you could tell were a little throwback to someone, or but I think most of it was just an over exaggeration of just stuff from the 80s and especially early 90s, because that's when you saw a lot more character based stuff. But yeah. All right, so we get promo for the Deaners. And
against the excessive force.
Excessive force. We got D'Lo Brown and Falaba as excessive force. I did not catch. Oh, here we go. Pummel and Plunder.
Awesome.
this the hard workers come off with the win here, but then the beatdown afterwards was just brutal from excessive force. In fact, they even trashed their. I'm not keeping up with my match thing here. Where is it? Come on.
Uh-oh.
Almost. There it is. So
it was a perfect. I mean, I don't know if they would in the past like pair such different types of characters up like that, but I thought it was fun. It was awesome.
It was great to see D'Lo Brown as something, and this was a classic combination, like a big guy. I'm trying to think of a classic tag team from back in the day, like Earthquake and Typhoon, those guys. Or they had the face paint on, so you could say it was a little homage to, say, maybe the Road Warriors back in the day.
Flame 9118 says excessive force were like hybrid Road Warriors, demolition, powers of pain combo.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Follow Maniac. We love how excessive force looked like classic Taz Maniac from old ECW. Okay, I see that. Yeah, he actually did look like that for a while before he did he had the frayed stuff in the was it late 90s ECW or whatever it was.
When did the change go from like all these serious hardcore like goofy characters to like not? When did that all happen?
That was
there a reason?
That was like I'd say it was like mid to late 90s, especially with the turn of Hogan. That really kicked everything up a notch. Things got a little less character base and more storyline driven and stuff like that. They still had some characters like like the Disco Inferno and stuff like that, but majority of it was really making superstars. Then it was like the mid to late 90s.
And what does everybody feel like? It seems like to me on social media, it's like people are one side, they like the athletic, the flippers, the wrestling, or they want that character. So what do you guys think? I mean, what do you like, Shay? Do you like the characters or do you like the new stuff?
I honestly I like a nice mix. I like a little bit of everything. Like if they're good in-ring action, if they're building characters, like they brought back Jessica Havoc. Jessica Havoc is a great character. She's just a beast,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Terrifying in the ring, and they completely changed up Sue Young, another great character. She's Susie now.
True.
She's not the undead bride. Stuff like that I appreciate. And then you got guys that are just nuts, like Eddie Edwards, that just not really a character, he's just nuts, stuff like that. So you got a little bit of everything. Oh, excuse me. All right. Next, we have, what do we got here?
We got match 3, Johnny Swinger and Bunk Gunderson. Please help me out who they were, because I love this match, wrestling-wise. Wasn't my favorite, character, but wrestling-wise, that was my favorite.
Yeah, this one was short and sweet. There's not a whole lot to say about this, other than I love the fact that Johnny Swinger was Johnny Swinger. And Buck Gunderson was actually, on Impact like a week or two ago, and I don't remember who he faced, but I know that the opinion was pretty much across the board, even that his name was such an awesome, classic sounding name.
Mm.
And it was like, man, Buck Gunderson, that just sounds like the ultimate jobber name, from back in the day. And the fact that he was actually on this again.
Well, do you know his wrestling name that he did with Impact? Like, what was he?
He was Buck Gunderson. That's why. That's why it's so funny.
All right.
Yeah, that's why it was so funny. It was like, oh my God, he's back, and it's his in-ring name. It was just a riot.
So I have to say, in that match, because I'm not very good at naming the wrestling moves, but when I see them and I'm like, holy crap! But I caught the name, the Swinger Neckbreaker at the end. That was so awesome.
Yeah, that was hilarious. The fact that Sexton Hardcastle said something like, "I've never seen that before." You know how those are closed fists, because that was such a that was like really illegal back in the day. You used a closed, that was cause. Oh yeah, the stuff that they disqualified people for back in the day. You couldn't get thrown over the top rope. You couldn't use a closed. Well, you still can't use closed fists, but that was like a much more major thing back in the day. Oh gosh, I can't think of anything else. The turnbuckle was never to be used as you don't hit someone into the turnbuckle. Then that changed. Oh, just all sorts of goofy stuff from way back.
Gotcha.
I'm showing my age. I'm sorry. So Johnny Swinger comes off with the win here against Buck Gunderson with the Swinger Neckbreaker. Some crazy, innovative offense. Here we go. Sexton Hardcastle, LOL. Yes, that name was great. And what's funny is, didn't they use that like when they were showing Ace Austin in that adult movie set, and Don Callis was on the set? The girl comes up to him and says, "Aren't you Sexton Hardcastle?" or something like that. She called him something like that.
Yeah, because when they said the Sexton, I remember hearing it before, but I can't tell.
Yeah,
so I can remember. It sounded familiar for sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what they call them. Eric Jack says, "Loved Moose's attire with the Run DMC hat." Let me tell you, I love me some old school Run DMC. I absolutely love the fact that he had the classic hat on. All right, next we have
the promo by Frank the Butcher. Now,
yes,
I wanted to see that character wrestle. That was awesome. That was fun. I was like, what's going on here?
Well, apparently he's showing up next week with the New Wave. So
this is going to happen again? Like, is this a regular thing they're doing? I thought it was just for like the holidays.
But that's how they have to talk. That's no.
Oh, okay. Like, what's going on?
No, I just love the fact that they're like, so-and-so's debuting next week. I can't wait to see that,
Oh, yeah, gotcha.
Just hyping it up. But the fact that Rhino was Frank the Butcher, and they had like the Butcher, like real background on a screen behind him, that was hilarious.
Was there a character that was kind of like that? Like kind of like, I don't know, bloody horror. I don't know.
Terry Funk, when he joined the WWF during the Attitude Era, I believe he was like Chainsaw Charlie or something like that.
Oh,
he didn't use it. Yeah, so he was kind of like that. He was in a tag team with Foley as Mankind, or one of the many Mick Foley characters. That was that guy, and I'm trying to think of another one.
Flame says Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdul the Butcher. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Abdul the Butcher was legit just nasty. He always made everybody bleed. stabbed people with forks. People left just completely covered in their own blood. In fact, I think he still has some kind of bloodborne disease. So, but yes, that's a perfect example of someone bloody and just nasty back in the day.
So I want to talk about that promo with the Rough Riders. I remember seeing someone earlier about talking about the Rough Riders. I think they need to be a legit team too. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Let me get to the thing here.
So the thing that stood out to me for that is, again, how freaking awesome Tessa is. Like, her comment was so naturally like coming out. It didn't sound forced or scripted, and it was so witty. Like, I can't remember what she said, but she had like something about
it was
I don't know, whatever. Yeah. It was witty. It was awesome.
We're gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. It was like, oh, okay, you're good. I mean, back
but it was
then,
done so real. Like, I mean, she did it so naturally. I was just like, again, she's just top of the game. Like, just everything. I love her. Yes.
That's that lineage there. That's that lineage.
Yeah. And then I saw Havoc was the next best. I mean, Havoc was awesome. She was a lot still like Havoc. Like, she sounded a lot. But
yeah.
She's still very natural. I was not a fan of oh my gosh.
Jordan Grace.
I didn't like her promo, and the other girl, they kind of messed up. They were nervous. I don't know. They just weren't.
Talking. Yeah, they weren't. I mean, Jordan Grace doesn't cut a lot of promos, but I think she did this one like okay. Alexia Nichole as
agree.
Mildred Moore. These names.
Yeah.
Too goofy. Yeah, she sounded a little stiff, but I mean, it was still a lot of fun.
I agree. I'm not to slam them. They were very awesome. The whole group. I wish I could see them again. It was super empowering and strong, and yeah, it was awesome.
The fact that Jordan Grace and Tessa were actually holding the tag team belts when that's what was like, joked and rumored about during Bound for Glory weekend when I was at All Glory, because Scott D'Amore was like, oh, they had a question and answer thing that weekend, and they were like, yeah, we'd like to see Jordan Grace and Tessa as a tag team going for the tag team championships, in Impact Wrestling. And the crowd was like, yeah, and Scott D'Amore's, do you want to see that? And the crowd's like, yeah. And the fact that they put that on here was
you think it'll happen?
It's a possibility,
I just I don't know. I mean, yeah, they'd be fun, but I don't. I think Jordan needs a little bit more to get to Tessa's level.
Oh yeah. She's come leaps and bounds from where she was when she first joined, like this past spring. What else we got here in the? I didn't catch Selection Nicole's character's name. She was Mildred Moore. All the ladies. Tessa Blanchard was Blanche Ardmore. Mildred Moore was Alexa Nichole. Jordan Grace was Georgia Cobb. That's hilarious. and Jessica Havoc was Lady Bird Johnston.
Yep.
Lady Bird. I mean,
yeah, it was awesome.
It sounds like that's supposed to be some like petite little, and she's like, the biggest girl of the bunch. She's just a beast. Oh man.
All right, so match 4, Jazzy Fit Body and Agnes Beardheart. Who was Agnes Beardheart? Because I really liked her.
I think that was Edward's wife.
No,
Alicia
no, it
Edwards.
was not.
Doesn't that look like her?
Because
I think it is.
I don't like Edwards. Sorry, I don't like. Help us out.
I'm not a big fan of hers either, but I feel like she's also like improved over the last, I'd say, year.
I guess it does kind of look like her. Kate, anybody know who was Agnes? Listeners, help us out. I really liked her in that, and I've just never been a fan of
Yeah, jazzy fit body.
I didn't like it. I'm sure it was spot on with a character from a long time ago. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
Flame says it was Alicia
It
Edwards.
Is really. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Gotta eat my words.
Yeah. Russell. Wasn't this girl taller than Edwards? I don't know. No, I think they were both pretty. Wrestling Phantom says it was Alicia.
Okay. It's just, I don't know. It was just strange. Anyway, so they were who had what was that character, the manager or whoever was coming in? What was his name?
Oh, that was
Sebastian Baker. Sebastian Baker
was Jimmy Jacobs.
I really wish I could have seen Jimmy Jacobs be something different than what he normally is. I would have liked to see him get outside of into a different character, but
what's hilarious is he probably used his own wardrobe for this.
I was like, okay, this looks the same.
Because I can picture him wearing that legit.
Yeah.
Because he's a little. He wears some out there stuff, you know. There's just nothing wrong with that.
But
I could rock that jacket probably.
So when the announcers were saying beautiful suplex, I also, like, before they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. There were some good wrestling moves in there. And
suplex.
That's the things they were saying. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, some of it, I think they could have worked a little harder as far as the characters, but they did pretty good as far as commentary and bouncing off of each other. I mean, they worked so well together as it is, so there was that, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yes, this is one of my favorites. Next match, get it up.
There we go. So we have the Rough Riders. Let's get it up on the thing here.
Yep, Rough Riders.
Here we go. The Rough Riders, the four ladies who are going to come on you like nobody's come on you before.
And we got Tim. They announced all the guys. Timber, Gymnasium, Building, and Ray Attack. Okay.
Racetrack.
Oh, Racetrack.
Racetrack. Yeah, Racetrack.
Okay, see, these names get me. I loved that character for him. It was a little too Energizer Bunny, but at the same time, it was fun.
Oh, he was hilarious.
But I have to say, him with the Rascals, I was like, how is this going to work out? And I actually really liked it. It was okay. It was okay.
That is a possibility, Hakeem Fullerton. It said that Jimmy Jacobs looks like he was wearing Aaron Rex's furry jacket from 2017. That could be. That could be. I forgot that he wore that. Who is now Aaron Stevens in the NWA.
So which pairing did you think worked out the best? Because I have a favorite pairing in that tag team match.
Oh, as far as who faced off with who?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh. I wrote down all the names. I didn't write down any details like that. But you go right ahead.
The one that surprised me the most that this is one thing about the show that I was like, it like enlightened my mind about so many things I would never have said. If you put this person with this person, no way, it wouldn't work. But when Jessica and Tim Burr got together. I would never in a million years before this think
you mean Lady Bird and Tim Burr?
Yeah, that's true. I loved that matchup. And now I want to actually see it in real. Like, I really want to see them face off with each other.
Yeah, because she is a tall woman, and sometimes you look at All Ego Ethan Page and Josh Alexander come to the ring, and you don't think of them as being real tall. But Josh Alexander is tall, and that right there was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, that was funny. That was a good one. And for those who came in late, yes, we are cosplaying Tim Burr. So there you go. It's about the quickest thing I could put together. I asked my wife, I'm like, do you still have that red flannel? She's like, yeah, why? I'm like, good. I ran upstairs and grabbed
it. Happy Gettysburg Battle. I think he's leaving out, so thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. So yes,
thank you, Gettysburg, for stopping in. We know it's a holiday, and
people exactly wanted to take that moment to thank you everybody for joining in with us.
Yes.
All right, so I also, as I spoke before, Jim, in the comments the last show, gymnasium made me want detention, gotta say. Scumbag for the
oh my goodness,
I love those short shorts.
That was hilarious. Yeah, and Trey with the shaving, that was a riot. I mean, they really looked like the almost like the Village People, you know.
Oh, no.
That was the first thing, you know. As soon as Gymnasium and Building came out, I was like, oh, this is so Village People, it's not even funny. So yeah, I mean, that was corny, but they did it so well. I mean, they didn't just come out and look the part, they played the part, you know.
Absolutely. And that's what I have to just say to the technical side of just what these wrestlers do. They came out and did a show like this, but they gave their all and they went right into the character, and you could tell they were having fun. So I was having fun. Yeah. So it was that was a thrill to watch.
Critical Sting from straight off the site, Building. Yeah.
I really want to know if the wrestlers were able to, pick all these characters themselves, or who did this, because it was awesome.
Well, yeah, the fact that they actually put this together. So, somebody, it was. I can't imagine it was one person. It was probably, the creative minds of several people getting together and to make up these names too. I mean, that takes time. Jeez Louise, that's just hilarious.
Yeah. So Rough Riders for the win. That was awesome. That was good. Loved it. And then we're on to match. Not really. I don't know. What would you call this? It wasn't really a match.
Oh, this was. Do you want to talk about old school? This was really an old school setup. This was a body slam challenge, because we saw stuff like this back in the day.
Really?
It was with like oh gosh, who was it? It was like Big John Studd versus Andre the Giant at it was at one of the first WrestleManias, so there was old school like that, and they had the briefcase full of money. Stuff like that actually happened. So the fact that they brought back Congo Kong, and I like Congo Kong.
Oh, me too. In fact, one of the first few shows, I think it was only like my second or third show. Okay. It was Congo Kong was there and Jeff Cobb. And I have to say, it still burned in my memory. Jeff Cobb totally picked up Congo Kong and body slammed him twice. And I was like, holy crap. Like, it's burned in my memory as an early one of my first early matches, and so it was great to get that memory back of like, yep, I know who else can do it.
Okay. We have a scumbag in the chat.
Oh.
Dude, I sent you the link. Get your ass in here. No, I understand. It's the holiday. I'm watching The Irishman on Netflix. Great movie. 3.5 stars, though. All right. And then he also says, I shouldn't even put this up here. He says, for the holiday, damn it, call this episode Boning the Nurse. No, I'm not going to call this. No. No, that would be bad, especially if it's me and the nurse. That might upset the host. Yeah. So, nope.
So I have to know, who was that manager? Like, who was that? Because I think that was one of the best played characters. Not the best character, but whoever it was played it the best.
Looked, here, R.D. Evans. He was just fired from the WWE like within the last couple months. He was also a former Ring of Honor guy. So now I think I'm guessing he's part of production at Impact, possibly.
Oh, I want to see him more, because if he can do that well in that, he's got to do like good promos and hopefully rest. I don't know. I want to see more. He really went into the character.
Yeah, and he's a wrestler too, but I think he's a better like promo character guy. Yeah. But he's the guy that, he was real over the top in Ring of Honor too when I saw him.
And then Muscles McGee coming in. I don't know who that first person was. Who was that first person?
That was a local guy. Muscles McGee. Okay. Yeah. Or Mr. Atlantis. His name is actually Mystery. They actually call him Mr. Atlantis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was funny that they brought him in. I've seen him on past shows where they've done stuff either around the Midwest or Canada. Yeah, they brought him in before. So it was cool to see him again.
And C. O'Connor, he says, made me realize how much I miss Congo. I do too. Did he get injured? Is he just not being played as much? Like, I miss him. I loved seeing him.
It just ran its course. Like, they did pretty much everything they could do with him. I think the send-off was right before Abyss went into the Hall of Fame. They had a monster versus monster thing a couple years ago.
I remember that.
And that was about the height of it. And seeing Jimmy Jacobs as Congo Kong's manager was great too. Okay. I'd rather see him wrestle as the Zombie Princess, but hey, I'll take Jimmy Jacobs any way I can get him. He's great.
Oh, you're a fan, huh?
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. All right, so, what is next here?
Well, no, Muscles McGee comes in.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, he comes in and gets it down.
He does for Canada. Oh, Canada! Which is so funny doing the Canada bit.
Yeah, that was good.
Takes the briefcase and the money, or not the briefcase, the bag and the money. Yeah,
the bag and the money, and is out of there. Yeah, and so the promo, Captain Joystick and DJ Moose.
Yes. That was and they showed a little a bit from a former match that was like prior to that, like the week before.
Oh, the fireball and all. Is that what you're talking about?
Something like there was a couple times where they showed, and something happened last week, and they showed like just a clip from a match, not a full match. And I think that was part of what they did here too. So then they had the promo after the bit of the match that happened where Captain Joystick beat Moose, but then he invited, DJ Too Large. I'm really just getting lost in this. DJ Too Large into the cockpit.
Oh, yes. That's right. It was the promo.
With the plain background. And then that turned into...
And Miss Mile High.
Oh, yes. And she was... she was just kind of present. She didn't really do much, you know, but she was obviously the sidekick to Captain Joystick.
Yes.
Oh man, and what's funny about this is I was quick scrolling through some of the social media on Impact Wrestling's Twitter, and apparently some of these characters that they put together on this show are on prowrestling.com t-shirts.
Oh, I want a Rough Rider shirt, that's for sure.
It might be on. I'm not sure who they all put on there. I think there's a Julian Cumberbund and Sonny Sanders shirt. I think that's one of them. But you'll have to go to prowrestlingtees.com. Go to the Impact Wrestling, and I think there's a few of them up there. Let's jump back to the chat real quick.
Oh yeah, yes.
Mile High was smitten with DJ. Yes,
he was,
which is even more funny.
I get her very well.
Oh my God! I just realized Moose was too large. Little classic Run DMC looking stuff there. Yeah, I'm gonna collect with DJ Too Large from Critical Mass too soon. That's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
David Valentine says Congo Kong was a great heel. He was, you know, and he was just a beast. He didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to do anything. He just, you know, he was himself, you know, and he's actually been around for quite a long time. Yeah. Says there's a Cowboy McCoy shirt. Oh, there you go. See, there's another character T in there. So yeah, go to prowrestlingtees.com in the Impact Wrestling section and see who's all got t-shirts for their character. Sounds like there's quite a few.
Yeah. So I mixed up promos. They were doing so many promos. It was awesome. It hyped up for the matches. But the promo that I mixed up, which I do want to touch on, even though it was real quick, was the fireball in the eyes. It was a match that previously happened, and then Cowboy got blinded
by Gama Singh. And what's funny is Gama Singh actually used to wrestle way back in the day. So he was actually himself.
And the reason I want to touch on it is I don't know which announcer said, we need a nurse in the building. I was like, yes. And then the other one's like, oh, no, we need a trained medical doctor. I was like, okay. So I have words to say with whoever said that.
You had a chance. You had a chance. If we can get the DeLorean, we'll try to make this happen for you.
But yeah, they wouldn't do stuff like that in the old days, would they? Like in previous year, a long time ago, they wouldn't do serious stuff like that, would they?
Oh, like the fireball? Yeah, they would do the fireball. The fireball's classic, and that's something you don't see a lot.
Wow. Okay.
The only person that does that on a regular basis lately is Joseph. Here, let's see. If the other guys were here, they would rip into me for this, and I'll probably catch hell for later. But I'm going to mention it anyways because I'm kind of, half running the show tonight. Joseph Samael of MLW fame uses the fireball a lot. There, I got my little zinger in there. They can get me for that later. All right, we continue.
Yes. You're going to have to talk about match number 7 because I'm sorry if anyone enjoyed it. Maybe there was something I missed, but I was kind of falling asleep on that one. It was slow.
Are we talking about the blindfold match?
Yeah.
That was another throwback. That was great. I actually enjoyed that because that's something that we don't see that a lot anymore. Yeah, it's goofy. It is comical.
See, and here's the thing. It wasn't because it was goofy. I was excited. I was like, okay, what are they doing here? But it was just, there wasn't a lot of moves. They were just, I don't know. It was just,
there wasn't a lot of wrestling. It was more just, okay, who's going to get who first? And then Dada Singh on the outside. I'm not sure who that was. But the fact that, now this was a classic thing that I actually enjoyed and it was funny. McCoy using the crowd as like a Marco Polo kind of thing. Like, okay, I'm going to reach over here. The crowd's going to tell me if I'm warm, or do I have to go over here? Do I have to go over here? That was classic, because that's actually stuff they used to do back in the day. You know, the crowd would tell you if you were hot or cold or right on. And, oh yeah, that was funny.
And I do have to say, with that in mind, that's part of the reason I fell in love with wrestling, is because of how interactive it can be with the audience, you know, with the fans, and how you can be yelling, and you can be like, the wrestlers will talk to, like, that is such fun to me to have that happen. So yeah,
there we go. I couldn't think who did it. Thank you, Mir Neeson. Jake Roberts versus the model Rick Martel blindfold match, WrestleMania 7. There you go. Perfect example. Thank you. Because
you guys are so full of knowledge. I can't wait to go back and just look all this stuff up.
There you go. If you've got the WWE Network, you can do that. There you go. Cheap plug. They can pay me tomorrow. I just got rid of mine because I'm not into the product lately. But you know, there's a wealth of fun stuff on there if you have it. So, yeah. All right.
Thanks, Tim. I got a shout out when someone says we love you. Thanks, Tim. Anyway, sorry.
Where's the love for Jaybone?
I just appreciate everybody being so patient with me with my lack of knowledge and just kind of strange outlook by just saying, it was boring, or I loved it. So.
Oh yeah, and you know, and this was something that, you know, we're not going to put a lot of technical thought into in talking about these matches. Because they were so goofy and over the top. This is more just having fun talking about the characters. So it's okay, you know.
So yeah, in match 7, when no, I can't believe he did that. But I guess that is the only way to get all the old stuff, unless you have a significant other or a friend that has all the videos from every, probably, I don't know.
Go to Blockbuster and rent your local VHS tapes. There you go.
Yeah, right.
There's a blast from the past.
But yeah, so when the Soviets came in, I was like, oh, wow, okay. Here we go.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah. They quickly, I mean, it was Mike Elgin and Madman Fulton, but I did not catch the names of the Russians. They just kept saying those damn Soviets, which, you know, and back in the day, there were the Soviets. There was Nikolai Volkov was a famous one, Nikita Koloff, and there was just so many, you know. And the best part of it is most of them weren't even Russian, you know. So they just, you know, had a look, a European look, you know, and you put a red unitard on them or whatever, and boom, you're off to the races. Put the Elgin came out with the classic fur cap. That was great. That was hilarious.
Yeah. And
they attacked Giuseppe Senior. Those bastards. They're gonna pay for this. That was too funny. But yeah. And then Giuseppe Senior, after the beatdown from the Russians, gets on there and he says he's gonna get in the ring one more time. He takes off his chain that was blessed by the Pope. He takes off his Rolex watch, tosses it to Sexton Hardcastle. He's never going to see that Rolex again. But Scott D'Amore, a.k.a. Giuseppe Sr., cutting that very emotional promo. That was one of the best parts of this show, because Scott D'Amore is quite the character. You know, he goes way back as you know, the coach for Team Canada in the early TNA days. So yeah, he still knows how to cut a promo, and especially an old school one like this, and get the crowd all riled up.
Yeah,
tremendous.
All right, Main event.
On to the main event here. Here we go. Come on, mouse. Work with me here.
So fill me in, because was there a reason this was the main event? I didn't think it was the biggest, but was there something that you missed?
This was for, I mean, this was the granddaddy of, this will probably go down for match of the year back in the day. We got Julian Cumberbund defending his, the International Commonwealth Television Championship against Downtown Daddy Brown. And that son of a bitch, Sonny Sanders at ringside. Oh. I love the fact that Julian Cumberbund, a.k.a. Ethan Page, had like the yellow trunks pulled up real high.
Right.
Like classic Hogan back in the day. That was hilarious.
That it was all those little touches that it was just like, yes, this is. Yep, I agree.
Valentine says, Jaybone, do you remember the Bolsheviks? Vaguely. That's a blurry one, but yes, I heard the name. Yes, that is another classic name from back in the day. Yes. Excuse me. All right. Your favorite part of this match?
Oh goodness. I just loved when all of the, like, when he's like Sonny Sanders is helping him out and holding on to him and putting his foot on the rope, and all that involvement I typically don't like from the side person, but I enjoyed it. It was really
the
fun.
Classic over the top action and reaction from the God, this bottle, what the hell?
I see it, yeah.
From the manager to that was perfect. Callahan covered so many classic things in that match when he, said to Willie Mack at ringside holding up his hands, and he's like, I'm just a manager, or whatever he said. That was very a la Heenan. Not Heenan. Heyman, excuse me. Paul Heyman always says that, I'm just an advocate. Don't touch me, please, So that was a throwback to him because he always does that. When Julian was in the crowd trying to blend in with everyone.
Oh, I love that too.
They called him a weasel. That's a Bobby Heenan throwback.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I caught all these little things and I was like, oh man, the Weasel. Love the Weasel. Bobby Heenan is one of the greatest managers of all time.
You catching all these references just reminds me of I wonder if there was someone out there that it's like all these little Easter eggs, if someone is listed, all these throwbacks, that was that. And
Sonny with the damn racket. Yeah, a la Cornette. Yeah, that was perfect. Yes, that was great.
What was your favorite part of that match?
Oh, just like the interaction between Page and Callahan, as Julian Cumberbund and Sonny Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
It just, number one, it made me want to see Ethan Page as champ.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Yeah, because he has the in-ring skills and he also has the charisma.
I agree.
The promo charisma to somewhere down the line. I love the North right now. I love that tag team, one of the best going right now. They're really proving themselves in the eyes of the fans. But when I started really liking Ethan Page a couple of years ago, he was a singles competitor in Evolve. And he was the best heel in the damn company. So I was like, I was sold on him a few years ago. And the fact that he's in a tag team now, that's fine. But I want to see him on top of this company now, honestly.
What I find what's awesome about him is he doesn't have to try hard. He doesn't have to go over the top to be like super engaging when he's cutting a promo. I mean, it doesn't mean, those that are like super like, aren't natural and good, but Ethan he just doesn't, it's like he doesn't even have to try, and he's solid, I guess is what I'm saying. He's solid in his promos, and it's just, they're just not, I don't know, I'm still trying to find that certain like spark, that certain uniqueness that sets him apart. I haven't found it yet. So he's not my favorite yet, but
yeah,
he is good. Absolutely.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, and O'Connor brought up a great thing here. Oops, lost it. Here we go. The elbow drop. Yeah, classic stuff like that from Downtown Daddy Brown, or a la, like I said, I saw a little bit of Junkyard Dog in this. I also saw some Dusty Rhodes in this. So yeah, he was a total throwback on a few different levels. So it was great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and we get a new hashtag. Actually, back then they would have been like, what the hell's a hashtag? Hashtag and new.
Do it.
There was no Twitter box back then. We get a new champion. I got to read the whole thing because I'm not going to remember this. The International Commonwealth Television Championship, and loser leaves town.
Oh, no.
That's the kicker. So Julian Cumberbund and Sonny Sanders have to leave the territory.
Out.
That is rough, folks. Where are they going to go next?
No idea.
Maybe Vinnie Mac will give him a job. Just kidding.
Impact was so curious. How would you like back in the day? How would the news travel as far as like who won? And I mean, yeah, like you just calling up and.
It was, back then, because social media was so different. The newspapers or the radio or TV in its infancy back in the day. There we go. Back to just us now. But that was fun. I liked putting the matches up there just because the characters were so good. Get rid of that. Okay, there we go. What were we saying?
Oh, just the spread of news.
Oh,
news on wrestling, because there were so many fans back then, and I was just curious how it spread.
And that's why it was called a territory thing back then, because local television covered, whatever was going on locally. Yeah. So you watched it live. There might be some coverage in a local newspaper, and that was it. So when you saw somebody getting their ass kicked, that was your moment right then. You didn't get to take a picture of that and share it with a million people on social media. That was your own personal thing back then. So yeah, the way wrestling affected everybody back then was, I think back then it was a lot more, I don't want to say important, but for lack of better words, important. I mean, it was really an event. I mean, you look at the classic crowds, excuse me. Ladies got dressed up, did their makeup, men wore suits. It was just a
really
thing. Oh yeah, you look at the classic footage.
Wow.
From, like the class, just look up anything, classic black and white footage from back in the day, and it's it's different. It really is, and it's a lot of fun to watch too, and how they describe the play-by-play, and like I said, what was illegal back then and what's what they get away with today was so different, and how they reacted to stuff. Yeah, go look. There's,
Oh wow.
Just go look up classic. Oh gosh, I'm trying
Just
to think of
different. Just different. Wow.
like classic like AWA stuff. Black and white, even the early color stuff. It's so much fun to watch. It just really makes you appreciate where everything came from.
Yeah.
And that's why, and I know that some people didn't like this, or they didn't get it, or whatever it was. That's fine. I had a ton of fun with this. The fact that they were creative enough to put the whole thing together, the characters, the names, how they would work in the ring, it was like 10 times more than what you would normally put in for a regular show, because there were so many more details.
Right. And from a new fan perspective watching this show, I really enjoyed being able to see everybody in just a different way.
Yeah.
Seeing them more not out there, but like speaking more and doing more, and it seemed like so many more of the wrestlers were just like more accessible. Like I got to see more of them.
Oh yeah, the charisma. I mean, they really got to let loose and really do all their stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
And also, like, just from a new fan perspective, it opened my eyes to the value of characters and the value of promos, where I used to not, really look at them as awesome, but I could see the value in getting you excited about a match coming up. And so I don't know if it's because it was all that show was all of that, and now it's kind of hard because it's only little bits here and there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I said, it is different now. When you look at how they promote stuff back in the day, it seemed to mean more, and now it's like when you see something on a show, you forget about it 5 minutes later. The retention just isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
It seemed like, like I said, back then it was a lot more special. Moments like, Randy Savage turning on Hogan, that happened in my town. That's a moment that I watched on TV Saturday night's main event that I am never, ever going to forget. Also other personal reasons from that I'm not going to get into. But yeah, stuff like that, that's just crazy. And now that could happen all the time, and people don't talk about half of them just because there's, times change,
And as people are saying in the live comments, they couldn't do this move and they couldn't do this move. And what I actually like about this show is, they did some of those throwbacks for that, but it really wasn't about the moves. It was about the characters. It was about the promos. It was about just. So I again, I agree with it. Other people, just I hope they do it again. It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I know that I'm guessing it was either Trent or Kyle put up a thing a poll on Twitter saying, should they do stuff like this, or should they go back to what they did every Thanksgiving and do the turkey trot thing, where somebody ends up getting in the turkey suit at the end of the night. I like both. This for a first time doing this, I felt like it was really. I don't want to say I was going to say it's risky. I don't want to say it's risky, but it is different, but I did enjoy it a lot.
And I do, Seago O'Connor says, I'm guessing the pile driver was beyond ban. From a nurse's perspective, why I think it's so important for these moves, some of these moves to be banned, is what I've also heard in the back, that all wrestlers, believe it or not, can't perform the moves to the most safe ability. So that's just scary. It's scary, like, to not have someone that, like, if you slip or they're not, because what I've seen is that they're kind of going to reviewing the moves and reviewing the right before. And so it's some of those moves. Yeah. You don't want to take that risk
dangerous
going in with someone.
Yeah, like you don't see them in certain companies. You see it more in others because they're willing to take the risk because it does pack a punch in the match and it does get a reaction and stuff like that. So yeah, look at Callahan. Did how many pile drivers to Brian Cage, but Brian Cage knew how to took it. He knew how to roll.
Yes.
He knew how to protect himself. Besides, his neck is like this freaking big. Nothing's gonna hurt that neck, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Anyways, well, overall, awesome. I loved it and good show. And yeah, thanks. I guess we go to
back to regular stuff next week. I might keep up the cosplay though. That was a lot of fun. But next week, the other guys will be back. Scumbag Kyle should be back. Trent will be back on American soil. He's over in Egypt right now. If you guys follow him on Facebook or Twitter, whatever, he's sharing pictures. Man, some of those pictures of him in the pyramids, they're just breathtaking. Man, I'm jealous.
Absolutely.
Safe travels, Trent. We love you. We miss you. Get back safe. And next week, we are going to start some extra content. We're planning on doing some throwback stuff.
Wow, awesome.
Like I said, the cosplay may continue. We'll have to see. I got to find my wig. Where's my wig? But anyways, so yeah, watch for that next week. We're going to start putting out some new stuff on the original channel. Folks, go to the Total Nonstop Impact channel on YouTube. We're going to start throwing some more original content on there, along with we're still going to do these. So don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We're not leaving the lounge. We love the lounge. We love the fact that it's growing so much lately. It's like almost 600 subs within the last month. That's insane. And it's a trickle-down effect from what BQ's doing, and it affects our videos too, and we're very appreciative of that. So why don't we jump into some social medias, and we'll get out of here because I got to hit the road soon. So where can they find you, Miss Wrestling Nurse, on the social medias?
At Wrestling Nurse, Instagram, and Twitter. So yeah,
there we
find
go.
me there, and can't divulge any actual patient wrestler secrets, but yeah, if you just have curiosity or about perspective of mine, feel free to shoot me a message.
There we go. Share some love for professional wrestling. And I'm Jaybone. You can follow me over on the Twitter box at Jaybone5150. That's Jaybone 5150. You can also follow me on that other little podcast over there on YouTube on Smash This Podcast. Smash This Podcast is also available on Instagram, Facebook, and the Twitter box. So look me up. I do all sorts of content that I really shouldn't talk about over here, but you can check that out. But and you can hit all the social medias down in the description. They're all down there. And one last thing before we wrap this up, voting concluded for the Wrestle Hub Pro Wrestling podcast. Yeah. So if you voted for us, if you shared the Google Doc for voting, anything like that, thank you so much. Go to the Wrestle Hub on YouTube. We'll all be watching very closely on December 8th is when the awards show.
Oh, awesome.
There is an actual trophy that they're giving out for Podcast of the Year. I doubt we're getting that, but we might squeak out maybe a win in another category. We're hoping. We're praying. We're crossing our fingers, our toes, and the hairs in our nose. So anything else before we get out of here, Nikki?
Just thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. And yeah, it's awesome. I love interacting with people, and I love what I do, and I love helping the wrestlers, and I love interacting with the fans, and it's why I love wrestling.
There we go.
It's just the whole environment. So
thanks for being on and help me hold this down. It's greatly appreciated on this Thanksgiving, and hope everybody stays safe this holiday.
Yeah.
We're going into Black Friday, so everybody stay safe. You know,
spread. I will always say, spread kindness. Spread kindness.
There you go. There you go. Be kind to one another. There you go. Plain and simple. So we're going to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. The rest of the crew will be back next week. Much love. Good night, folks.